Oh, people are here already. I should get dressed. I think once at the end of one of these sessions, I was getting more or less undressed. I didn't realize it was on. I came over and did the camera, and so it was interesting. Probably not really interesting, but when I heard about it, it was sort of interesting. See if anybody shows up on Let's Go. Oh, boy, I tell you, I never had any idea that this would be this popular, particularly on the internet. Hello, Matthew and all. Hi, this is Lee. Lee Elizabeth Todd. Hi. Gabe is there. Hello from Kentucky. Wow, I'm on time. So am I finally, and I'm actually running. Last night I tried this and it didn't work. I got screwed up. I don't know what happened. But anyway, we're doing it now. And it's something, I mean, it's a little esoteric. I put a more esoteric title in yesterday, and maybe this will be a little more down to earth. But it's stuff you got to know, I think, to really get a handle on. This is like a tiger, the government. I mean, this is not, we're taught to live a certain way, and people who advertise to you, have certain ways. They want to make everything easy for you. And so you believe that everything should be easy like that when it's not. But what more so, I think you have to know is what the bigger picture is and where you fit into all of this and why it is like it is. Hi, Matthew, you're the greatest. Wow. Why don't you say that a couple times? Oh, there she is. Echo, echo, echo. Wow. That's enough to pay for a computer. That's great. Actually, one of my computers, they're all old, but that's nice. Nice to see you, Echo. Napoleon, Ohio. Sharon, is that a city in Ohio? Heidi Vegas, hugs from New York from the dear. Oh, that's nice. You people that send hugs and hearts, and boy, I don't know about you, but that goes a long way. I mean, it goes a long way in being a human. Somebody appreciates what you do, and tell them, because that means so much. And when anybody says that about my boy, that's better than money in the bank to me. And it's important. So to know, and that's why even your own work, what you got to do is be so concerned about it, so you can get that by acting. Not that you're going to work for that, but it will come if it's natural, I think, and you're working your heart out to do something, and you love doing it, and you love helping or whatever. I love your spirit and your words of encouragement. Much love and many hugs. Thank you. Just call me C. Hiya, Dom. That's a lot of. You sure there's any more hearts left in Texas? Oh, I want them all. It is just warmth. I don't know about you, but most of us, we want that warmth, because it's so important. We're all here alone. We're going to die alone. We came in alone. We're going out alone. And one of the nicest feelings is the connections, and then the warmth that people can give you, that's sincere. And that's why marketing and stuff like that, buying and commercial and all that is not sincere shit, because it's robots trying to think of what you want and discern. They go back to, they see what you've done in the past, and then you want this, and it's not nobody, going into your heart to find out what you want. I mean, that's why I think a good lover doesn't have to be be told what to do. They instinctively know that, by knowing you so well, knowing themselves so well. And the robots see you and don't know anything until you leave a pattern. And so that's why it's not heartfelt. So you're getting all this, from people that are cold, the robots. So how are you going to deal with those robots? Well, no, realize it's robots. I mean, robots are important, but they're not everything. Your book on women entrepreneurs. Oh, remember that? helped me and motivated my single mother start a business 20 years ago and changed her life. Wow. I did a whole series of books on women, women, entrepreneurs, women, healthcare, women, get out of debt, women, because women are carrying the load in this country on everything. You look at all the important stuff, not on the junk superhero shit, but look at kids. Who's the default on kids, right? Women. What, our society is nothing if we don't have kids and taking care of them. That's default to them. Okay, when people get old, who's the default on taking care of the older people, right? Still women again. I mean, not that men don't do it, not that men, and I think are doing it more, but the generations I grew up in, that was unheard of. Yeah, and so they're taking care of the elderly that are leaving us, and the new ones that are coming in. Now, what the hell is more important than those two people? Winning the lottery? Nah, like that. Oh, Heidi. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Oh boy, I've never got tips on the internet like this. And then I had a neighbor who wound up in jail, and he could get out if he had somebody as a mentor or something like that. So I said, okay, I'll volunteer. So I went to these meetings once a week for about, I don't know, a couple months, because you had to be trained on what's going to happen when they get out of jail. And there's about 30, 40 of us in a room. I was the only guy. So it's all women again, taking care of all the people getting out of jail. So, what are men doing? They're going to football games. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly it's not all that way. I need a grant for a new car. No, you need a new car, or you need a car. Now, it's hard to get. I got a lot of questions, actually, even today that I was answering, people who need cars. And there's two places for that. Well, I got a report that shows you there's a lot of nonprofit organizations that give cars to people who need them. I mean, they take older cars, refurbishing them, and get them, because cars are important because you can't get to work. So that's part of the jobs training, that the government has. So that's available. And then also the money that they have for emergencies. People, I mean, Wisconsin has an emergency program just to give money for people who need a car, so they get to work. So now there's about 8 offices in every state that has emergency money like that, and you call them. Now, for those of you who are not members, members are coming! Yay, members! Hi, Diane Brown. Take 2. Are you? Yes, I thought I'm going for my second shot. That's what I thought you were talking on Monday. Man, I got sick. Not good. I was. Oh, I usually get a reaction. Nothing. I don't even go. I haven't had a flu shot I had one in the last 50 years, I think. But my family, I wasn't going to get this COVID thing either. But I don't see people. I don't go out. I don't. Just what the hell, And I'm sort of putting shit in my body is not, even though I like ice cream. But that family talking, then I can't go with them and whatever. And I don't have really friends. It's family and work that I concentrate on in life. And now you can't go anywhere. So what the hell? Yeah, why don't I do it? But I was talking to him, did it, and I had one a couple of weeks ago, and boy, I was in and out. There was a day I couldn't get out. I got a sprain in my neck. I couldn't get out of bed, man. So I went back to them, and they gave painkillers or something. They were having all kinds of stuff. I mean, after the lady, as I was coming in, to check into the, not a hospital, it's a clinic. I belong to something called, I forget what it's called. It's a big national fund, but they're very good. And I said, hey, I'm on a Sunday morning. I like to do things in busy places on Sunday morning when nobody's there. I said, yeah, oh yeah, all right. Oh, we get lots of people coming, all kinds of things. Yeah. And then asking the doctor that too, and he was looking at me, oh yeah, all kind of reactions. Nobody knows what the hell's happening when you do this. And on the way out, go and get the medication in line with somebody. Yeah, I woke up, my eye wouldn't open. Just stuff like that. And so this thing moved from one side of the head to the other side of the head, and then it went away, then it came back a little bit. So I got a little visitor for a while. But anyway, let me get back down to the what we want to talk about here, and it's really a basic lesson on government grants. Okay, first of all free money is not called grants. Remember that. Okay. And that's why I used to never use, I used to teach people, don't use the word grants because you're going to miss a lot of the free money. But now from COVID, grants is back in the, at least that's what people know. And I think that's why my business is so good, because people have been educated what the government does. It solves problems, and it throws money at things to solve problems. It does that with or without COVID. Now, before COVID came, the government gave out about $2.5 trillion. $2.5 trillion. That's bigger than the last stimulus package and the stimulus before, to people in free money. Okay, that's all they did. That's every year. They still do that. So we're going to have a new stimulus package of what is it? 1.2. We already have 2.5, and all the other programs nobody knows about. And you just know about the one that's been in the news. So you have like double the money now. Now the average money that came out before COVID averaged about $23,000 per family. So every household got about $23,000. Okay. In all kinds of financial benefits. This is what we do in America. I mean, we don't make things, it's not like Ford Motor making cars and you come out. No, what we're doing is with the money, we have Defense Department, we have NASA, and we have people like Social Security, all these kinds of things for people. Yeah. So that's where the money goes. So it is, that's about, $23,000 there. So now COVID came. That's an additional $23,000 on the $23,000 we're giving out already. So that's now averaging $30,000 or $40,000 a family. So that's why I put $30,000 in here. Okay. Now, here are the things you have to look at, the different areas of your life that the government wants to help. Okay. Now they're not, you want to make this country safe, join the Army. I joined the Navy because they were going to draft me. and it was Vietnam, and I didn't want, I'm not a camper. I didn't see myself sleeping in the jungle. So, hey, Navy, I sleep on clean sheets every night. So I spent 3 years, 2 months, 9 days doing that. But otherwise, it's getting money to people. Okay, here are the things to do. Okay, you have living expenses. Okay, and that's like the stimulus checks that you're getting now. Okay, so that's just one of like 7 places that you could get money for, and grant money that you don't pay back. Now, a lot of money is not called grants, and you still don't have to pay it back. So that's what you have to realize, is that every free money is not called a grant. Okay, so when you're looking for money, no matter what it is, don't say grant, don't say anything. I'm looking for grant. I say grants because I know that's what's in most people's head. And as a marketing person, to trying to get your attention, sort of like me dressing like an asshole, right? At least I got your attention, and now I can educate you. So that's what it's about. So you don't want to go in because you have that. See, what we do is we bring us to the problem, but you have to understand the problem and how to use it. So I've been saying this for years and years, don't use the word grants because you're going to miss a lot of things. Okay, if you're looking for a grant, you will miss the biggest grant we have now as a small business, and that's the PPP and the EIDL. They're called loans, but they're really grants. At least part of it is, and most of it is now grants. So you're missing that. Also, you're missing like training money. You get $10,000 to train for a new career or something. They don't call that a grant because they're paying for your training. You're going looking around, looking for somebody to give you $10,000 of cash so you can pay somebody else. No, see? So that's why you don't want to get caught up in something like that. What you're looking for, okay, you have no money. So that, well, you have no money. Now, you don't say what you want. You say you need financial assistance to get an education. You need financial assistance to buy a house. You need financial assistance. That's a broader term that people know you have no money, because you wouldn't be asking for financial assistance. You would be asking, oh, how do I choose the right home? But so it's financial assistance you want. So, hey, what kind of financial assistance you have? So this way, because otherwise, if you're saying, I want a grant. Okay, so if you were looking for a small business grant and you called up the biggest small business grant program today in the government, and you call them up, hey, I have a small business, I'm hurting financially, but I'm looking for a grant. And they're looking down their list. No, we have no grant. We only have the PPP loan, the EID loan. Oh shit, I don't want loans. I want grants. So you missed it. That's a big. I've never seen so much and so easy to get that goddamn money ever before. So it's important that you understand where the government is, not where you know what you want, but you go dating somebody, you know what you want, but you can't open the door and say hello on your first date and let's go to bed. You have to understand the needs of other people. And that's what you have to do in finding money for the government. What are they doing? What do they call it? That's why it's always good. And see, the government loves paper. That's what's so neat about the internet. Before the internet, I used to go get all their publications, brochures, and everything. And then I'd call the government up and say, hey, I want one of these. Whatever. This sounds like something I could use. And so you have to show the government the paper they have because they don't know what they have. It's too big. It's too big. I mean, growing up, my family, we had 4 people in the house. And 99% of the times, I had no idea what the other 3 people were doing. So if you had a government agency of 10,000 people, how are you going to know what the hell's in that other agency? And what we do is we say, well, I called that agency and they said we had nothing. Shit, they don't know. Nobody knows. Before I paid for training to become a dog trainer. Oh, yes, that would have been good. And so you have that language problem. So just realize the problem. That's okay. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know that, dog poop is slippery and you don't want to step in it. So that's all you have to do. And remember that. So when you go in and try to get help, it's best to try to look at their website so you fool around. But the other thing is what's very important is personal. I mean, if you saw my video today, I did down on Capitol Hill today. I read you something a Let's Go member said, how he was treated by a person. And it was just a wonderful letter, how a person, see, all this money is given by people. They're people. You're a people. You're a human. They're a human. That's what you want to relate to. The more you could get into a human, that's the most important thing, because then if you could get there, find it on the phone. It's hard. A lot of people hate the phone now because we're not trained to do any of that. So that's always a problem. But you could blast through it. I mean, members, look at that. It's on the front page on YouTube. Go back 2 or 3 videos ago from this morning, and you'll see me sitting in front of the U.S. Capitol building because I went down there to see all the, the razor wire and fences are all gone. And it was, oh God, we were like a banana republic before. People with machine guns and, military outfits and big gates and razor wire. And this is America, man. Didn't look like America to me. I don't know, maybe you. So anyway, you want to be human to these people. The more you could talk to, like the story was this morning, somebody was helping with their unemployment, couldn't get it. And after calling and calling and calling, found, actually it was a business grant. And she was able to find it. She was so gentle and nice. And so you're nice and gentle back. And she put his name and email address and to have it reviewed and see what happened. She was saying how we're making a lot of mistakes here and admitting all they're screwed up and everything. We'll get back to you and everything. And it was just an incredible human to human encounter. Which is there. These are human beings on the other end. If you're on the computer and everything, you're not you're not a human. You're not talking to a human or anything. Humans are nice, basically. I don't know, well, I got a couple I put on that list. But it's important because then and the other thing to do is you're giving them a chance to help you. You realize that? They decide to work in an organization that's giving out tens of thousands or billions of whatever of money to help people who are in financial problems. What could be better than that? Yeah. I mean, gosh, I mean, as a human being, I mean, that's an incredible job to have, I would think. I mean, you're like Johnny Appleseed or Jesus or, a saint, but getting paid for it. Wow. So if you, on the other side, are just a digit, they don't feel that as important. You become real to them. Now their job feels important because they're helping a soul, a real person who has a heart and is in trouble and things like that, that they have the money and the power to change your life. Man, that's incredible power these people have, and for them to know you as an individual is just very important for them. It makes them feel that their life is worthwhile because they did something very nice for somebody who showed them that they did something nice. Because this fella, the member, sent them a letter, and a thank you letter. And what you should also do is not only send them a letter, send a letter to their boss, because that's what. See, bureaucrats all run on paper, and I mean, they've had not Yelp. Is it Yelp? Yeah, where you rate things and all the businesses in your neighborhood and everything. Well, they've had that all the time because that's how they keep score. I mean, they don't sell anything. They don't make a profit or whatever. So if you call or write them a letter or email about what a wonderful person they have, not only do you put a nice warm blanket around their heart, you're also helping them, in their career. I mean, they see how you're giving them a chance for them to see how important what they do. And I think that's the bottom line of all of us. We want to feel important in life somehow. That's why when I first had a kid, I used to have businesses and they're falling apart. I always wanted a business. And then I had a kid. I was about 40 years old before I had a kid. And I started thinking that, boy, with a child, I'll never, at that age, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'll never be more important to anybody else again for the rest of my life. He only has one dad, and I'm it. And at that age, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's got nobody else in life. Mom, that's it. Mom, dad, and him. And gosh, you want to be important. I think I was at that time. I was trying to get on the Today Show, and I was doing all these shows and trying like hell to get on because that's the way I sold books, and it felt so important in life. But no, if I want to get on these shows to feel important in life, man, I'm more important right now with that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old than I'm a being even. I think I was Larry King like 5, 6, 7 times or something like that. Letterman and on. And they always get somebody else fill that airtime. I'm not important. But I'll never be that important again to that kid. And I see my boy having a kid now. He's enjoying every second of that too. So that's it. See, these bureaucrats that give out money, the more you get to know them, the more you could get through that. And get through to them as a human being, the more important their work becomes. And then that goes around. Okay, now here's how the money's set up. Here's the way. There's about 7 kinds of money, that you could get money for and help in the government. One is money to do anything. They give you a check, like the stimulus check, unemployment money, and you take it here, whatever the fuck you want to do, go do it. Okay. Then there's other things for living expenses like that, rent money, uh, down payment money. We have a lot of that. And now even mortgage money, and there's some in the new, it's hard to find mortgage grants now, but there's some in the new package, the Biden package, that has mortgage grants in there. So that's all mortgage. So it's really, I call it sort of debt and bills and expenses. So that's the kind of money we have as a government. See, the government is us. That's why it's not the government. We're the government. We vote fuckers to run it, right? So it's us. We all can't go run it. God, we can't even run our own lives. How the hell are we going to do running a big government? So all that that's us. So we have all that big pot of money. Do anything. Okay, that's one thing. So we have bills, debt, and expenses. Now you have business. Why do we give money to businesses? The main reason is they create jobs. Okay. So we have lots of money we give businesses. And the big guys know it. And that's why I came to town when I first did this kind of work. It was for Fortune 500 businesses. They know it. I mean, they spend billions getting stuff from the government. It's cheaper for them to figure out how to get government money or have a law changed in their favor than to discover a new product or sell something. No, they make more money out of lobbying Congress than they do selling. And if you put a couple lobbyists there and you make a hell of a lot more money, why would you spend it in marketing? But also, it's jobs. I mean, and in a capitalist society, it's very important for us. This is how we create jobs and a little survival of the fittest, in our economy like that. So the government subsidizes that with grants, loans, free services, like everything now. I mean, I show you, I talk a lot about the Small Business Development Center. But I think that's the greatest thing we have in the country. If you're a freelancer, you're a nonprofit, you're a small business, you're a gig economy, they'll help you with anything. I used to go down, make an appointment with my local SBDC for Procter & Gamble was my client. And I get all this stuff from them. And then they want to go overseas. Well, from there, then I would find out there's government offices that give you money to sell overseas. There's government offices that find markets for you overseas. There's even money for you to travel overseas and look for business. This is the kind of money we have. Yeah. There's venture capital money in the government. Man, the government even financed a porno shop on 42nd Street in New York City. It's a legitimate business. But you couldn't finance a newspaper with that money. You could do a porno shop, but not a newspaper, because that's politics. They want to be apolitical with that. Oh, you want to find Darnell? That's wonderful. Yeah, let us help you. Business is the thing. And when you call business, you don't have to be a business. I mean, if you're my age or even 20, 30 years younger, or anybody, I mean, in the last couple of years, business doesn't mean business. Business now to government programs, you don't have to have an LLC. You don't have to have an EIN. You don't have to have an incorporation. All you have to do is have money coming from somewhere else that's not a normal job. So if you're selling hot dogs on the corner or just somebody, wants to give you money to do something, you got a business. That's all. And that's the way the programs work now. So the business, they change it all. Just like grants, you don't have to, you get confused if you look for a grant, and you're going to get confused if you look for money for business, if that's what you think you need. And you're not a business, but you can get that money. Yeah. So that's it. So you have business, you have bills and expenses. Okay. Now, the other thing, the big one too, is home, real estate. Okay. I think we're covering pretty much the whole economy already. We're only halfway done. Now there's another ton of money just for real estate and housing. So you have a house, you buy a house, you got to fix up a house. You want to be a real estate investor. You want to build housing. You want to build apartments. You want to do any of these kinds of things. They have it. You want to do out in the country, in the city, in the space. Did we do that space agency of Trump's? I forget. It doesn't sound like too much. I hear about real estate, and probably somebody's going to sell real estate on Mars. So we have housing, and now see, and don't forget government programs, business, real estate, daily expenses is all for people who can't get, not all, but most of it is for people who can't get money elsewhere. If you could go down the bank and get money, then there's no need for the government. The government is for people, they set up programs for people who can't afford it. That's why they have the program. They wouldn't have a program everybody afford it. No, they want to encourage home ownership because they think that as a society means we're going to have a better society if more people own their own home, yada, yada, yada. That's something else you don't have to worry about. And whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But this is the way it is, and this is where the money is. So there's money to buy houses, fix up houses, all those things. Yeah. And that's a big chunk of money. I mean, if you go, if you're a member, you see the mini reports, or also see the mini reports in Let's Go. If you're not a member, Let's Go Help. All the mini reports are free. If you're a member, Let's Go Help. If you're not, I sell them for like $5.95, just pocket change. And you'll see in any state, and see the mini reports, what's important to me now, I think we're all organized by state. All these government programs, the best thing to do is your state. That's going to have different requirements, different places to apply and everything, just like the national rent or the new mortgage money that's coming out. That's maybe federal money, but it's going to go to state, and you have to find out where that is. They're going to have separate, sort of like unemployment money. There's state and there's federal, but it's going to be through the state, and the state has different laws all the time. So that's important. So on a mini grant, we have one for real estate and investment. And I've done this too, because I've been researching this for 40 or 50 years. So individually, I used to do a custom research for people and find 150 programs in any city of government programs and nonprofit organizations. And that's what, now, another thing, when I say government, to me, in my mind, I'm also meaning nonprofit organizations, because nonprofit organizations are allowed to, the government will give money to nonprofit organizations that in turn give it for free to you. So either you're going to get it for free from the government, or you're going to get it free from a nonprofit organization. That's why on Let's Go Help and our new Let's Go Help 2, have you heard about that yet? I'm starting that. So if you join Let's Go Help, you'll also be an automatic member of Let's Go Help 2, which we're trying to develop. And if you're a Let's Go Help member now, if you go to, what is that thing on top? It used to be called, let's see what. Oh, guides. Okay. If you go on the top of Let's Go Help, there's something called guides. And you go to push on guides, and you'll see information about Let's Go Help 2, and it gives you a link to get into Let's Go Help 2 for free. Okay. And what I want to do there, I'm going to try to do, is because people are helping each other so much on Let's Go Help on Facebook, I want to set a separate place that you go and just get people in your state. Now, maybe I could do that on Facebook, but I'm not too happy with them recently, so I don't want to get too much in them. So we'll have two. One, they'll be general too, but also mainly I'm looking at, we could put things so people could find out about what other people are getting in their state, because all this stuff is state related. You have to know what's going on in your state, because Some states give a hell of a lot more money than other states, a hell of a lot more programs and everything. Like right now, if you're in California or in Maryland, and I forget where else, I think Wisconsin, some other one, they have a separate stimulus check program that they just started. Maryland will give you $500. I forget if California, I think it's $1,000, $1,200 or whatever. Money to do anything. See? So that's why the state, and then when you deal with people in the state, even though it's a national program, it's going to be different. Sort of like unemployment. That's a national program, right? But it's done run in a different state. So you really got to know what the hell's going on in that state. So that's why we want to get people, that are searching for this kind of information in their state. So you go and join, the Illinois group and get help and help other people in Illinois who have problems financially or whatever. So, and that money for housing is not just federal. It all comes from there, usually, not really all of it, because a lot of it's state and county and city and everything, and nonprofit organizations. That's a lot of different sources. So you just can't go to the feds and ask, hi, no, that has a lot, sure. But you're going to miss a lot if you're only doing that. And that's why the mini grants show you that. All this places in your state to do that, to find that stuff in your state. So now we have, money to bills, pays, and expenses, bills and debt and expenses. We have business, we have housing and real estate. See, these are the areas. So when people call, and I get this a lot, I understand why, on information on Let's Go Help. I want all government grants. You have to know. So if you have a better understanding of how it's organized a little bit, you'll have a better chance at where to focus. Okay. So you have those three. Now, the other thing is jobs and education. Huge, huge, huge. Yeah. So you want a better job. You want to get educated. You want to get trained or anything. Big time. And this is going to grow. I mean, particularly for this administration, it sounds like they're going to start plugging a lot of money into this. Because that's right. If you don't have a good job, if you don't have good skills, your job isn't going to be going anywhere. If you're a hustler, then you can figure it out maybe. But if you're not, and even if you're a hustler, you have to know. I took 10 years learning new skills now to get this thing to be semi-successful, and I was struggling for 10 years trying to figure this out. We all have to learn and grow, and I'm so glad because it's doing so well now, and I can't believe I could have retired 20 years ago or something. No, that's so stupid, Oh, and this feels better than I've ever had before, because I talk to you individually and help, and people call right back on how everything is. Okay, so we're jobs and education. Okay, the best place to start, there's a lot of nonprofits on this. The main local office for you is what's called the Career One Stop. Now, that's just a start, but that's the main office. Is called Career One Stop, and you could just Google Career One Stop and then your county name or your state name, because it'll be county and state, and that's what you're looking for. And they help with everything to do with jobs, education, all kinds of things. I don't know, but you can get trained for free and then get a job after 6 months or a year of training, like $90,000, because people need that training. See what businesses do. See, if you have a business, what they want to do is hire trained people. So they go to the government and say, hey, I need 5 people who know this. Yeah. So what the government does is give the community college or whatever a whole bunch of money, get 5 people, train them so they can get a job over here. So everybody's sort of happy, the community college is happy. The county's happy because they got 5 more jobs, all this kind of stuff. And the business is happy because somebody paid for them. And they didn't have to pay for training. Or here, if you're looking for a job, the government, and you go to find a job and they say, oh, you don't have the training. That's okay. You go to the Career One Stop and say, hey, how do I get money for that business to train me for free? They have that money. or they'll pay half your salary while you're learning because you're a dumb shit. Maybe you're smart enough to learn this, but it's going to take 3 months. So the government will pay 50% of your salary while you're learning. How do you know that? See, but the important thing is that this is important to America. This is what we decided is important. So housing is very important. Business is very important. You surviving, and paying your bills is very important. See, but these are all, that's why it's just not a grant, it's issues they're working on. Okay, the other two big issues are healthcare, right? And that looks like that's turning the corner too with the current administration. And actually now there's a lot more healthcare is cheaper right now, just as the Biden stuff. They're giving out more grants to help you pay for healthcare if you're paying for it on, on the internet. I'm not, the Obamacare or whatever they call it, healthcare.gov. Also, what they're doing is money if you get sick during this time. There's also money for Cobra, Cobra. If you lost your job and you had insurance for your job, they're going to pay all of it. All of it. God, that could be $500,000 a month. Government's going to pay all of it. No, never had that before. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Whether it's free dental care. I mean, most programs don't even have that. There's lots of sources. It's going to take. I go actually Howard University and got my teeth cleaned over there. I'm waiting till it was like $20 or something, $30, $40, no, nothing. The doctors, the dentists will charge you $200-300. But there's also sliding scale things. I mean, there's so much thing. And actually a good place to find if you need health care that keeps track of federal and state and a lot of nonprofit. There's a lot of nonprofit. I mean, there's hundreds of nonprofit organizations that give out grants for people with certain diseases or need living expenses because they're ill and stuff like that. It's not organized. You got to do some work. But a good place to start is Needy Meds, NEEDYMEDS.org. There's a wonderful database of all this stuff. And look under for people, individual stuff. I mean, it has so many things in there. And you'll see, for paying things or not paying things and all this kind of stuff. Nonprofit organizations that pay your co-pays, and they'll fight the hospital for you. So you only pay 10% of what you owe. There's just a lot of things. But that is very big in this country, healthcare, right? We're the only developed country in the world that has the worst healthcare system and daycare. But that's another thing. Childcare, it looks like we'll work on that a little bit better too. But you have healthcare, and I'd put childcare into that. And the other thing is legal, and that's another thing. I mean, to me, what upsets me about being living in the biggest democracy in the world, right? So we're supposedly the greatest democracy in the world, right? Democracy means everybody gets a fair shot and all this kind of stuff. We all have. But to get legal help, it costs you $500 an hour. How can we be the greatest if to take advantage of it, we got to pay somebody $500 an hour? And that's why there's so many nonprofits. And that's what I do too, is not only nonprofit, but government agencies. What you have to realize is that everything's regulated, okay? So housing is regulated, business is regulated, utilities are regulated, everybody. So we set up an agency to regulate. Banks are regulated. So the most important thing as a consumer, you should realize your dry cleaner is regulated. So anybody who screws you over, all you have to do is find the office that regulates them and get back at them. Okay? You don't have to hire a lawyer. These are better than lawyers. Your insurance company won't pay a claim. What do? Okay, you go on Google, put insurance company, screw you. No, you're going to find lawyers who want a big pot of money if you're going to sue somebody, or paid by $500 an hour if you're not after a pot of money. And you don't have to, because that insurance company is regulated by a state again. See, that's a state. That's why we're building all the mini grants, state mini grants. We don't have mini grants for everywhere. It's state mini grants. And there's one on legal we're almost finished with too. That will be there. So for anybody, your utility company messes you over, your insurance company, your doctor, your lawyer screws you over. There's an agency, put the lawyer out of business. Agency that put the insurance company out of business. And see, if you contact that agency that regulates that bank or that credit card company, see, that's more powerful than any lawyer you could ever hire at $2,000 an hour. Because the best that lawyer could do is get your money back. So that's all the agency, or that's all the credit card company has to lose, is pay you what they owed you anyway, right? You felt they owed. If they mess with the government, okay, and they lose. See, if they mess with your lawyer and they lose, and the agency, the company loses, they have to pay you what they owe you. If they mess with the agency, the government office, and they lose, the government office put them out of business. They're not going to mess with that. It's cheaper to pay you $2,000 or whatever the hell it is that you want to get paid for than to to fight and maybe lose. And it costs them $5,000 to talk to each other. A big agency and a big company, that's a lot of paper going back and forth, or emails, or whatever we're doing nowadays. And yeah. See, so that's the structure to me. Where do you start? I think the best is that the state, and this is after I just really came to the conclusion just a few years ago, after studying this 40 or 50. That's why we're doing the Career One stuff. I mean, not the Career One stuff, the mini grants by state. And that's why we're setting up Let's Go Help 2. That's the state. Get in there. If you remember Let's Go Help, go over, go to the, what did I say that thing was? Oh, come on. Go to guides in Facebook, and you'll see in the guides, there's there for Let's Go Help 2. There's a link so you could get into Let's Go Help 2, because that is all closed doors. Nobody could get into that. It's only for paid members. And here's people sneaking in. There's a billion people on Facebook. Can't control that. So this is a place we can control better. And you can't get in unless, you paid. Here we got people say they're me. No, I didn't pay, but they got in somehow, and trying to get your money. So that's another one of the bad things. So that's why we have a state. So when you get there, remember to, sign up in your state so you could help people there, ask questions there, and we could help each other there in your state. And remember, if you're a member of Let's Go Help, I have all these mini grants for free. We have them for all those mentioned. Not the legal yet, almost. But I'll send you a loose one before they're really printed. If you need something, you could always ask for me. I mean, that's what, to me, it's, even with a lesson like this, it's still very confusing. I learn every day, and it changes, but the basic structure won't change for a very long time. I mean, now we have COVID. That was a big change. But basically, what I told you today has been the same thing that existed when I started this 40 years ago. That has not changed at all, except extra money. And that's why I think people haven't it. Holy shit, the government does this. I mean, when I first started doing this, the only thing I knew about the government was the post office and the IRS. Right? Oh, and the DMV, right? That state. Right? They're the only people. No. You see all the power and the tools it has. I mean, it's big stuff, and very important. And that's, important for everybody, I think, to know. You don't get, you're going to get a lesson in school about the 3 branches of government, not the 7 avenues of funding that are available for you to live a better life. That's what I'm trying to teach here. Okay. Now, there are a couple places, you're looking for my stuff. Members, don't worry about it. You just ask me, start a discussion. And that's another thing. Members, if you're asking a question within somebody else's discussion, it's hard for us to find that. We're not good at that yet. So if we don't get an answer to you, best to start a new discussion, because I see all of those. Every new discussion I will see and answer them for you. That's why it takes me, I got to hang up soon and finish my day's answering. That's important. Now, Facebook folks, YouTube folks, there's a free report. Now, here's the free report that's very important. It's almost like being a member, but not quite. It's on a state-by-state report on, well, actually, this is a general one. I have like 14 people in every state that helps you do research for free. Okay. All that they're there to do is help you find money for all those areas we talked about. See, who knows they're there? So that's right. You don't have to give me money. Get that report. You go to letsgotraining.com, letsgotraining.com. And the first report there, just put in your email address. I ask for your email. And if you get an email from me, there's always something there. You could just opt out. You'll never get an email again for the rest of your life, at least from me. And the other thing is I have other reports you can get, like all the new COVID programs. I got a free report for that. Another one for training. So there's good stuff there if you can't afford the upscale. But I have to take care of the members first. And that's why I have to go now and finish answering their questions. I'm sorry I don't have time to do that online tonight, but I wanted you to know this information, I think, to get a structure in your mind. You won't remember it all or whatever, but it's just a piece. This is how we learn. You learn something else somewhere else and say, oh, that's what Let's Go meant. Yeah, that's what learning is. I was studying learning when my kids were starting to learn. And learning is connecting something together you knew but didn't know the connection. And then that you learn something else and that makes a connection for you. And then learn some, those two things working. This the same way like what's his name invented the iPhone. We had phones and we had cameras for as long as I've been alive. Somebody just put them together. And we got the iPhone. Changed the world. Okay, well, thanks for letting me babble here. And the 3 in the description on YouTube, I have the 3 websites. It's Let's Go Training, traing.com, and then Let's Go Help.com. And people on Let's Go Help, don't forget Let's Go 2. Get over there, take a peeky. Let's Go reports. Yeah, that's the mini grants that are for sale. Yeah, $5.95. Okay. It's because I'm trying to get and sign up for a state. If we do that, and then we could build something there to help each other. And members. That's the best part to me. I see, I don't know how long I got here, but maybe 15 years. And I'm talking about, that's where Let's Go Help is on Facebook. And then on this other platform we're using too. So take a look and I hope something's here. And those that are not members, don't forget, download that Let's Go training, the first one on mentors and researchers that are available, because that's broken down by subject too. So places to get help on all those subjects to start. Okay. Talk to you soon.